So here we go with the OIG Roundtable number 10. Today is November 21st, and our agenda is kind of short. So the usual intro, what we're working on, what we have been achieving in the past weeks. We finally managed to relaunch the OIG website, which is a nice thing. It's far from done. It will receive many improvements and features that you all have asked for. But for the moment, it's a nice improvement to the old tool, and you can also view the current election on it, which brings us to the next topic, the OIG election. So click on Governance, OIG election. You can find the current ballot, which is the 9th election, or the 8th, the 9th election, this time replacing Joseph.org. He's a nominee again. He accepted it. This wallet here should be Anders from Pixigon. He was a candidate in the past election too. And this wallet here belongs to Victor Lopez. I don't need to introduce Joseph to you. You all know him very well. He's been here since November 2019. I really enjoy co-working with Joseph, and he has transferred many experiences and some knowledge to me during the past 2 years. He's a candidate again for the next 18 months. And on the other hand, we also have Victor Lopez. He's a developer from Brazil, Apex NFT Brazil. In case you heard it, they have been building or supporting a few projects on Wax. He has a kind of short description in here, but there's a Telegram handle and the Twitter. He shall introduce himself to you, but in case you need to know anything, you can reach out directly on Telegram to him. So those are the current candidates. Nominations are open until November 23rd, end of the day. And then we have 1 week of voting ending at the last day of the month. And the seat is going to be replaced on the 1st of February 2024, excuse me. Also, while you're there, check out the website and some informations we put online for you. It's evolving. Give it a visit once a week. You will see some updates happen on the website regularly. Also, I'll take the chance to tell you that the website is open sourced. So it is built on Vue 3. You can view the repository on the official Wax OIG GitHub. It has some descriptions on how to run it and how to install it, run it locally, and you can, of course, contribute to it in case you have any feedback or suggestions on what should be added to the website. Please just go ahead and open an issue and we will pick it up and make it happen. Right. Once we're there, let me share with you the Wax developer repository. This is then deployed to developer.wax.io, which is the developer documentation we relaunched at the beginning of the year. Unfortunately, we made the experience that VuePress, the framework that it's built on, is being discontinued and is being replaced by WhitePress. It is a static website builder. So during the next or the coming weeks and months, we will be working on once again relaunch the developer portal and of course take our time to implement some crucial changes to the information architecture on the current website. So we had some discussions up for it in the past, how it should look like, possibly for a developer to find all the information on the website, a background and a key message why this section on the developer docs is needed. You can engage with us and suggest topics to be added or what we also really like to see is there will be a relaunch of the website. You can contribute to it, or the way Ross from Eosphere is doing, for example, submitting the articles he's writing on the Medium, the wonderful Hyperion articles. He's adding them to the developer documentation. This greatly helps with SEO on the developer docs, having those keywords on the website, making them searchable, having a good impression on Google for people Googling for Wax developer or Wax history or all kinds of stuff. So in case you have anything to contribute, or you're writing articles for your audience, please go ahead and add them to the developer docs. Of course, let us know if we can help you or guide you through this. Next one, and it's not ready to talk about it, but we somehow agree on the fact that we need to build alternative funding opportunities in the form of request for proposal on Wax, which gives us the ability to request proposals from developers and from the guild side, which then can get developed through a Wax Labs fund, ideally incorporating some sort of DAOs, which would enable this tool to function as a Kickstarter-like system, could be used by the community. Community can set up individual DAOs, for example, to develop their own products. The releases of funds could be tied to milestones. There's a lot of details in there we need to work out, but in the long term, we are trying to develop a Wax RFP system, and we will also let you know when it's time for your feedback on this. So it's a little early to share it with you, but the process has started, and we somehow aligned that we want to accomplish this during the next weeks and months. Also, we're cutting short the network health. What we are just doing now is looking at rounds missed. Greymas is unfortunately not here today to tell us what happened in the past weeks, but overall, network seems pretty stable at the moment, pretty performant. So let's cut the tech part short because it doesn't have any important information this time around. Then also a short reminder that on the guidelines 5.4, we are asking for additional Delphi price oracles to be published by you. The deadline was yesterday. So in case you didn't do it yet, please do it ASAP. Add USDT, USD, and USDC, USD to your oracle pairs to receive the sweet points for price oracle on the next tech evaluation, which is going to happen in 13 days exactly. So in 14 days exactly. So today's tech evaluation is going to get published until midnight, and then every 2 weeks, so in 14 days again, we are having the next tech evaluation where we will be evaluating if those pairs are present or not. As far as for the guidelines 5.4, we didn't receive that much feedback yet. There is a discussion, or we have set up a discussion to try out how. So we weren't very successful in the past when putting out the proposal and asking you for your feedback ahead. But this time around, we should try it the other way. So the guidelines are published, the guidelines are now active. If you implement the guidelines and you happen to generate any feedback for us on how we can improve that, or if we need to change something immediately, please let us know inside this GitHub discussion. So that's where you should tell us how the implementation of 5.4 has been for you. All right. And that's it from the official agenda this week. Short-lived ones. Anything else from the official side you want us to talk about? Did I forget anything we talked about last time? Because if not, we can move on to the open agenda. And for this, I prepared some kind of agenda bingo with a few topics that seem to be recurring over the roundtables. And you can pick any of those and start discussing on it. So, did I miss anything? Do we need to get into details for the guidelines, and is anything still unclear on the guidelines?
We're trying to cut this call short. So Michael has more time to explain his stuff. No, seriously, guys, if you have any questions, now's the time. I mean, we can also have a call with you in private if you want to. We are available, but that's also an opportunity for you to ask anything.
Nice work on the website. It's so organized. Like really, I'm quite impressed, man. Good job.
Thank you.
Definitely better not get it done.
Yeah.
That's true.
Go look at the EOSphere snapshots website, and that is my peak capability.
I look at the EOS USA one. It's 1990s HTML, baby, and it's functional. Quick.
My daughter said on the holiday she'll make a better one for me because she was mocking me for how bad it was.
Snapshots.eosusa.io. I need to kill that site. I can't believe it's still running.
By
the way, you need to update your records. Please stop. Don't use .news. I need to redirect it.
Oh, yours is prettier than mine, bro. Yours has definitely got some prettiness.
Do you still need those?
Some of those? No. But no, what the pain of building that was is that you can't do file listings for hundreds of files. And so it's actually some like bash script that runs some PHP to generate a raw HTML file. So it is purely HTML.
I think I'm just going to grab my HTML and paste it into ChatGPT and just say, make pretty. Make it pretty. Boom.
What's ironic is I have a full-time graphics developer on staff and a full-time web developer on staff. But that's what you get, baby.
So it's at least HTML5, but contains tables.
HTML5, I wrote that in Notepad, yo.
I've done that a few times too.
Clean and efficient. Cash me outside.
There's an image missing though.
Yeah.
I think you better deduct some points for that.
Yeah, that's right.
It might be missing as well for the BPJ.
I know why it's missing. Vulture ate one of my servers. I couldn't even pay him for it. But anyway, that server is where that image was hosted. It's on the EOS USA logo. It doesn't matter.
Hey guys, sorry I missed the beginning. What are you discussing at this moment?
So we are on the open agenda. So you can pick any topic you want to discuss. I prepared the bingo here. It is for sure not complete, but we will add any topic we are touching will get added to the bingo, and you can pick one.
Am I supposed to drink whenever somebody says those words? Is that how this works?
But right at this moment, were you shunning Michael for bad design for his backup solution?
No, it was self-proclaimed. It was the original discussion was how good the website update looked for OIG, And then the joke of long going for years is I am not a web developer. So that's how we progressed into it was the last conversation. But
Okay.
then yes, he clowned on me because my shit's broke. Hey, the one at the bottom works. I should go and link that one. See?
That was sweet. The chain was 515 megabytes. 2020.
Yeah, back in the day.
Okay,
way-
doesn't seem that we have any hot topics, any concerns.
I actually want to probably discuss what was outlined in the recent Twitter space. It was, I think, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, in relation to the latest changes to Wax governance. I don't remember which was related to
Wax governance?
no, not governance.
DeFi?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we can comment if you want, but to be honest, I think the best person to answer your questions, that will be Lucas.
Oh, okay.
Because we know as much as you know, basically. So,
okay.
And even if we knew more, we cannot tell. So,
so it's basically a topic which kind of can be discussed only in terms of from the perspective of Wax creators, I would guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to discuss, we can discuss, but we cannot clarify anything else. That will be Lucas.
Okay.
Which I think we should invite Lucas, right? We discussed this,
absolutely,
Janis,
right?
Yeah, and he was willing and eager to join. So we just need to find maybe like once every 2 months, 3 months, once in a quarter, so he can join us here and join this conversation.
Cool. Okay, that'll be
nice.
Great.
So there was the Q4 Tech Talk, and I think the summary was that Lucas is at the moment elaborating a roadmap for 2024. So this will be probably the point where we can discuss the roadmap for the next year, and also I bet there will be some more information about Wax DeFi.
Okay, looking forward to that.
So what specifically are you interested in when mentioning Wax DeFi?
Yeah, I'm just curious where are we going. I'm not kind of interested in some specific nuance in that topic in general. Just curious.
So I think in preparation of some major changes, there were adjustments to the CPU limit, right? How do you all feel about this? Did it have any impact on your operations so far? Like CPU got a lot more expensive in the past weeks,
Well,
right?
From my perspective, it doesn't look like that. I think the load did not rise, and the amount of processed transactions is kind of the same on average. Yeah, one point was related to, I had one issue when I switched to backup block producer, and thanks to Wax Sweden, I was able to fix that. I accidentally put improper peer host in the peer list, and I had a lot of empty blocks. So when I switched back to Sentry peer-to-peer hosts, it was kind of situation normalized, and everything was as expected. And in terms of additional load, I don't see any difference from how it was before and how it is right now. maybe so some other block producers have some maybe more granular monitoring implemented on their systems and can provide.
Actually, we didn't see any difference on our tools. The distribution tool for projects mint like hundreds per transaction. We didn't see any significant reduction in that. So when it comes to projects point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so no noticeable impact so far. Any other issues you guys had in the past 2 weeks with any kind of tech ops?
I had a Hyperion issue. About a month ago, it was the first time I had seen it, where my Hyperion stopped indexing. Well, it was indexing and the blocks were there, but there weren't any transactions in it. And I've been working through it with Igor. It's a little bit hit and miss. I couldn't find any issue, but we suspected something inside of the in RabbitMQ, and it happened about a week and a half ago. And I found there was an issue in RabbitMQ where it looked like it disconnected and then never reconnected again. And then we went and had a look at the Erlang and the my RabbitMQ version, and they were slightly older, so I've upgraded those to be current. So I did Erlang, RabbitMQ, and Redis on our production environment to the current versions, because even though I was upgrading the Hyperion, I wasn't upgrading any of those tools. So I was even upgrading Elasticsearch and I was upgrading Hyperion, but because the queuing is working, I just didn't think about to actually do it. So hopefully that's going to resolve the issue, because it looked like it was only me that was having that problem. And anyhow, it seems to be running fine now. So just thought I'd bring it up.
Sorry, did you want to finish? Oh yeah, I'm not sure what was the problem. There was a report from VaxDev that we had a problem with Atomic, and yeah, I think Includenull is present in this discussion, and I want to apologize for being rude, maybe, but I wasn't able to find the problem. But kind of I need to improve the communication when I'm not when I have lack of sleep. So basically, I was a bit rude, and I want to apologize for that, and to Michael as well. But
good, man. Be life.
Overall, I think that my investigation didn't lead me into anything. I wasn't able to find the problem, though I was able to find that Sentinel reported that there was something wrong with our Atomic at some points at time, but I wasn't able to find what was the problem. I have a suspicion that maybe Cloudflare did something wrong. Maybe there was some stale cache. I don't know. I did what I did. I had to kind of flash all of the cache that we had in Cloudflare, just for the sake of, I don't know, to be sure that we don't have any stale cache. Yeah, you can just set default time, and you will be able to see that we have 95% availability or something like that. Yeah, it's even less for 2 recent weeks. I'm not sure what was the problem, and I kind of probably want to try to implement some better monitoring. I don't know, but it has to be from perspective of eyeballs, I would guess, not internal Atomic monitoring, but something that watches my Atomic in detail from perspective of caching and well, kind of end user. So I think that would help better. But at least, well, indicate that some problems kind of happened, even if I do not see that on my atomic servers.
I can
Okay.
speak a little on that,
Yeah,
but I know
something
Basil
like
has his hand raised.
Can I let Basil talk for a second because he raised hands?
Yeah.
Basil, go ahead, please.
Thank you for this meeting. I just actually faced the same things today with the wax.senagen.co. I sent the support to check what happened because I couldn't find anything. It's happened for twice, and I did check manually, request it, and also failed. I don't know what happened. Yeah, you can drop down. Yeah, the second two and three lines. If it, yes, there is. I don't know what happened. The IP is not blocked. There is no limit. Maybe something also related to Cloudflare or something like that. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, well, so I would say heads up to anyone who is using Cloudflare. You should pay attention to your caching, I would say. I am not 100% sure that that might be the root cause because I wasn't able to kind of reproduce it 100%, and I'm not sure what I'm talking about in the first place. But I have a suspicion that it might be related to cache. So pay attention to that, guys.
Okay. Then in order, Michael and Basil again.
Oh, he was talking. He can keep
Yeah,
going.
actually,
Oh, so Basil, okay.
yeah, actually related to Cloudflare cache, I have faced this issue before. So I have a rule in Cloudflare to bypass all the cache, even to API and even to AA Atomic Asset API. So there's no cache issue now, but I think something happened different today. I couldn't recognize what is, but it's not related to cache actually.
Okay, well, maybe different issue.
I can say, I mean, we use Cloudflare, but I have bypassed straight through just because it always kind of got in the way and jammed things up. But I'm trying to remember what it was in the channel. I think they were getting a response. It was just like an empty array, right? It wasn't like it was down 404 unreachable. It was empty, right? I mean, am I recalling that correct? Or, I think Null says, yeah. The reason I say that is I went and Dimitri's still here. He remembers I cussed this thing for months, fighting with Atomic, and what it ultimately was Postgres was really struggling to deal with the onslaught from the indexer, which manifests in a lot of different ways. I also have some clients with some private Atomic APIs that, based off of the structure of how they're doing it, it's simple queries. It's just like an asset query, but they've got a lot of parameters or whatever. And it's, for whatever reason, will trigger, and you can check in the warnings. Atomic has some query thresholds. And so when Postgres or the server starts to get bogged down, it'll actually try to run the results and then just give up and time out the query after, I don't know, a couple of seconds. And I was fighting that issue, is that it'd respond, but it would time out the select statement with all the join tables, and I could find it once you pop the hood and went down into it. So
honestly, the SQL queries were bombarding the database, and we solved that by splitting reads and writes. So we had a read replica DB on a separate server. There was no other way unless you actually have an if else statement and you just blacklist certain contracts. You know what I mean? Otherwise, the select queries would clog up and queue up, and it was a mess.
Yeah, and market data, obviously, I mean, y'all should look at what kind of abuse that market takes. We do statistics on it, and it's crazy. But that data joining in there is definitely heavy and lethargic. But I even legit, I ran into the PCI buses for the NVMe drives being at that level that was jamming up Postgres. So I definitely would say make sure, you know, Postgres is updated, tweaked for your amount of memory settings. Also, I don't know, because I know you have to run some older versions for like Hyperion and stuff. I noticed a dramatic difference in the IOPS load whenever we went to 21, whatever the latest version is. So I would definitely say go to the latest, make sure you're on the latest version if that's possibly an older version, because those SQL queries get different. Maybe even look at the parameters. You can, fun fact, don't send them through the roof. You know me, I like to break shit. I unlock them and it cripples the server because they just spin indefinitely into a death loop. So just a few things I might suggest, because it wasn't that it was down, it was that it just wasn't responding right. If I correct, I mean it's which throws your monitoring for a loop because everything was running, it just wasn't happy.
Mm-hmm.
Demi.
Yeah. Also, Fabian at the time hired an expert Postgres optimizer. So they actually went through the whole thing and found the best settings for Postgres. I don't remember if those are public or available somewhere, Michael, but there's a way to fine-tune Postgres for atomic acids type of database structure.
It was like a little wizard type of thing, and I could
So,
probably
yeah.
Well, it's called PG Tune. If you looked it
Yeah.
up, PG Tune.
So
because
I
it's
actually
based on
Google.
your machine. Go ahead, Ross.
I wrote a article on it, and it was in consultation with the Pink guys. So it's got their configuration settings in my article. It was is it there? It must be there. Optimizing atomic acids.
Yeah.
Gotta be there.
The key on all that was that Postgres, because it's single threaded based off of the query, when it starts spinning, it can manifest as all sorts of weird things. But I didn't expect it to start timing out queries on the select. So that reminded me maybe that might be a battle you're fighting.
That's not it. I'm pretty sure I'll put it there.
Sphere. Let's see. We may not
Go to the top. Go to Wax Technical How To. Yeah, yeah. There. So go down. It'll be like 4 or 5.
There's so much information; it's so hard to find it.
Load balancer.
No, keep going.
Parameters. Optimize and restore Wax Atomic API nodes.
Yeah.
I think we might have put it also on the Atomic Acids API here.
There you go.
Yeah, there it is. And that was important. And if you ever hit up Fabian, that'd be the first thing you'd hit you with is, for the love of God, make sure these settings are right.
Yeah.
So you can just auto tweak your Postgres configuration with those information here, like total RAM, number of CPU and connections, and what do I have here, like 64 gigabytes, like 8 cores or what, connections 50. Okay.
There were a few other trickety snaps. I've got it in the article there. Can't remember. I wrote it quite a while ago.
Yeah, there's a bit more to that, but I try to dig in my in the bookmark.
Effective I/O concurrency.
Yeah, in general, PGTune is very useful, but there are a lot of specifics which you kind of have to figure out yourself. I used PGTune for that, but some of the suggested configurations were changed, I would say.
Is it any other than the official configuration? Doesn't look like that to me. So max query 10K, 50.
Yeah, most of it was on the Postgres side, because that's a bit of a, it's a bit of a dog if it isn't set up right.
So just to be clear, the problem arises when there are too many concurrent connections, it seems, right?
I wouldn't say concurrent connections. I mean, just Postgres is struggling. if that can be your bottleneck, you can have.
It's like it's single threaded, right?
Well, all databases are. Don't hate on Postgres for it. Is, I mean, they're all or multi-threaded for multiple connections, but one connection still is a concurrent thread. And so when it's in, you're hammering that. Now the next thread will handle the next query, but you're bottlenecked, and you can see one thread of Postgres SQL 100%, and of course, romp on the NVMe until the query either stops or finishes.
There's a queue, and if it fills up because your queries are slow, it'll just bottleneck, and then you're dead, right? But I think Michael, what you can do, one thing you can do is, it was on my to-do list. Like the reads, all the SQL selects. You can find, it's always the same ones, right? And you can as simple as adding an index to those fields that maybe Fabian forgot, right? And you can completely optimize it a lot more. So it could be a case by case, and the queries change all the time.
So,
go ahead, Pablo.
Yeah, there's also, general problem of SQL databases that it has to be, it is very dependent on the data design. So in case if we have a lot of connections of tables, and we interact and lock some tables and unlock some tables, it's always in serial manner. And if we are able to read from multiple tables without locking, well, that's another case. Read and write, of course. And this is heavily impacts the performance in the first place. So basically, sometimes if there is bad design or not very smart design, you cannot improve the performance, read and write performance, if you just increase your server hardware, for example, just increase it vertically or horizontally. It doesn't matter, because you are locking yourself through your reads or writes. And it might be a case in this specific situation.
I see. Let's get into the question from Includenull. Does anyone run a atomic assets database with replication and multiple readers? So Michael answers.
Someone definitely does. I was talking to them like a few months ago, and I can't remember who it was. They had like somebody had a whole freaking cluster thing going on.
Well, I mean, is it multiple indexers or why? I'm curious why you'd need multiple indexers to begin with, because I mean, you're just reading two blocks.
But it was like.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was like a cluster, a Postgres cluster that was being used for more than being used for more than just atomic assets, and they had all these cool. Who was it?
I've set up read-only replica clusters typically, and I think the way most of us did it in the atomic troubleshooting was you had the master and it was a read-only replica. So I don't think it was bidirectional. So you would use one for reading and one, it was just constantly spewing data to the other.
Yes.
Crushes the network.
I think it's Rami from DMail, Wizards Guild.
Michael is kind of correct. I tried to set up a cluster at the beginning when we started as block producers. So general problem with that, it's kind of maybe it's possible if you kind of overhaul the whole indexer design, how it does the indexing. But if you use the original indexer and you will try to kind of do the writes from multiple indexers, you will end up with deadlocks, and this will basically kill your performance or even the availability.
Yeah, not multiple indexers. All right, that's why. So You're just talking about multiple
APIs.
AP. Yeah.
I mean, read-only APIs, it's kind of possible to achieve that through, well, just
Yeah,
read-only.
we did that. I mean, I ultimately, once I fixed the problem with the host master server, because again, it was still lagging behind. It didn't fundamentally solve the indexing problem. It offloaded the reads to another server. But yeah, we definitely ran 2 or 3 Postgres read-only replicas with APIs sitting on top of it that just smashed on it. And it helped because the server wasn't overloaded, also dealing with the indexing and deserialization, but it still didn't help. It was querying a table with, multiple millions of records with a crazy join statement, and ultimately could still, I mean, I was throwing i9, NVMe, 128 gig machines at it, and I was like, what else is there? If there's any way replica lag, there was a little bit of a lag, I would say. I mean, not real. Mine's local LAN, and I mean, it rips like 200 megabit a second between these things, keeping them in sync. But it also added a little bit just to constantly be dealing with that. So the lag really comes from that indexer, in my opinion, is that it's got like one thread that's shoving it into Postgres. And when there were monstrous amounts of like Ben's pack openings or something like that, I remember back in the day, those pack openings would just, remember Atomic had to program a banner at the top of their site that said, sorry, the APIs are behind about 9 minutes. They'll catch up in a little bit. Is that indexer would just jam up, and then every one of your replicas is just as jammed up as the original indexer. Does that answer your question? No? Yeah. It definitely helps, though. I mean, it's just.
But Michael, right now, if you have an indexer on its own, and you have a ship node on its own, separate servers, and I read a couple of reads on the separate servers, does the indexer still struggle right now today?
No. Once
Okay.
I figured out what my problem was, that it was bottlenecking IOPS for Postgres, is what I think I narrowed it down to. It didn't lag as much. Still crushed the shit out of it. I mean, I was putting 20, 30,000 IOPS a second nonstop. That definitely got better in the later versions. And obviously makes a big difference what it's getting hit with. I mean, one of my clients, for whatever reason, had a query that, I mean, it could run 10 seconds, but it was just a simple select asset. So I don't even really know why, but something would trigger that thing. And as you said, once you start this death spiral of Postgres getting behind and whatever, you can jam it up, and it never catches up. Wax is too busy.
But yeah, I just want to for kind of maybe finishing line regarding Postgres. So it feels pretty good on NVMe's version 4. So it feels good, and I don't see performance problems with Postgres.
I think I'm running 3.
Well, 3 is also good. Well,
Right.
I'm just saying that there's, I think, the difference is that version 3 allows you to send 5 gigabytes per second, and version 4, 7 gigabytes.
Correct. I'm looking at my Atomic server now, and I mean, it bursts up to about 200 megabytes a second and 8,000 IOPS. At least that's one. Let me check a couple of them. Like I say, it's dramatically down after some of the latest updates. That was a big thing that really helped. And yeah, I do see some 10,000, 12,000 IOPS and 250 megabytes a second on the one that they unload on. That's just got some heavy queries that for whatever reason. But so obviously SSD or NVMe should be able to keep up with that.
Recommended in general.
Required. Required, my man. Okay. It never gets. I think a hard drive does 150 IOPS, so you can throw a RAID array of 10 of them and still not even get 1,000. Anyway, I love Geek Speak. Love you guys.
Geek speak. What else, guys? Pick any topic from the bingo.
And drink.
And drink.
We are close to 1 hour, so it should
Right.
be great.
Rosa's
We
got a
are
siesta
wrapping
too,
up.
good.